Hi guys, the Benidorm Enthusiast here with Benidorm Stuff YouTube channel. It's been a weird few days with the weather here since our last video. Glorious sunshine one minute, then hammering it down and thunderstorms the next. And it's the opposite today. It was thick black clouds this morning and now it's coming out really nice. So I haven't been out and about much due to the unpredictable weather, but there's been a lot going on in the news lately that I think you all should be hearing about. So for today's video, I'm going to be summarising all the major news announcements for you. Starting off with restrictions in our region. There has been a slight relaxation this week, but they are still being very cautious at the moment. The main changes are that we are now allowed to meet up outside in groups of 6 instead of 4. This means bars and restaurants can have 6 per table as well. We were all hoping they would be extending the trading hours of the hospitality industry up to the 10 PM curfew or even up to 8 PM to give them a bit more night business. But it seems they're not ready to give that just yet. It is still a 6 PM closing. We were all pretty disappointed by this, but it is what it is. Live music has been allowed to return to our stages here over the last week. This is massive for Benidorm. The entertainment scene is vital to many bars here and also to those who live here. It's been great for the town's morale in general to see some of our entertainers back out there doing what they do. It's really lifted people's spirits. The next main change is that we are now allowed to visit friends and family inside their homes, which has been prohibited since January. It's still limited. Only 2 households are permitted to meet up inside, but it is a big step in the right direction for us all here. And the last main change is to do with care homes, allowing more flexibility with visits to homes where the residents have been vaccinated. This is incredible for many families who haven't seen their loved ones in person for such a long time now. Really, really happy news. So these restrictions in place now will stay until the 25th of April and then they'll be reviewed in the days approaching that date. A quick mention about the masks on beaches rule that came in recently, as I know that was splashed all over the front pages of the UK tabloids. It has been appealed by the Valencian government. They have stated that they are against wearing masks while sunbathing on the beach and around swimming pools. Central government will be reviewing this and it's expected to be officially reversed very soon. In Benidorm, I haven't seen it being enforced by the authorities at all. We have the squares on the beach to ensure social distance can be maintained, so it is completely ridiculous and everyone seems to agree on this. I've been on the beach several times already when we've had some of our super sunny days and I've not had any problems or seen any problems. And look, no mask tan lines for me, as you can see. The night curfew and the closure of the regional border is still in place and it's expected to stay in place until the state of alarm finishes on May 9th. Now, the Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, has announced that he does not want another extension to the state of alarm. So May 9th should be the end of it. And a lot of people are a bit confused as to what this means. It doesn't mean that it's an end to all the restrictions in Spain. We're still a long way off from that, I believe. We're still in the very early stages of the de-escalation plan. And it's always been said from the start that it would be a slow process. But the state of alarm is the legal framework that is needed for the autonomous regions to be able to limit fundamental rights, such as the freedom of movement. So without it, after May 9th, the regions will still be in charge of restrictions to combat COVID, but they won't have as much power as they had under the state of alarm. Therefore, it's very unlikely the curfew will continue after that date, but they will still be able to limit opening hours and capacities of the hospitality and the commerce sectors, and the perimeter closure of the region could also still be in place. This all depends, of course, on how the numbers are in our region and in the rest of Spain coming up to that date. The Valencia region is still doing extremely well with COVID numbers. Not only are we the best in Spain at the moment, we are now also one of the best regions in the whole of Europe. Our incidence rate is currently 34 per 100,000. We haven't seen a big spike after Easter, only a very slight rise. Other regions have seen a sharper rise and they didn't get their numbers down as low as we did before Easter. So that is a little bit worrying, but despite what you're being told by the media, The rise here in Spain is not like we're seeing in other parts of Europe. Our national incidence rate is around 180 per 100,000. This is, of course, still too high, and the regions where numbers are rising again must continue with restrictions to tackle the rise in their areas. Even if we keep our numbers down in our region, when it comes to international travel, we will be judged on the national average. So we need the numbers in the whole of Spain to get down to similar levels. Most importantly though, the hospitals and the ICUs are not seeing any increase in admissions, which is fantastic. And obviously that's due to the fact the vaccine rollout is well underway now. And a large percentage of the most vulnerable groups have been vaccinated. The vaccination programme was very slow up to the end of March here, but since the start of April it has really picked up speed. The mass vaccination centres are open and functioning. 16% of the adult population have had their first dose. That is still a low number, but considering it took the first 3 months of the year to get to 10%, to get an additional 6% done in the first 2 weeks of April is quite incredible. Pedro Sanchez has assured the public that we are well on track to achieve the target of 70% vaccinated by the end of August. So things are looking up in that respect. Unfortunately, we are still nowhere closer to knowing exactly when Spain's borders will open up again to British tourists, and not really any closer to knowing when you'll be allowed out of the UK for leisure travel. Boris Johnson has said things are on track to meet the May 17th date, but can't commit to a yes until closer to the time, and this uncertainty has led to some big companies, Jet2 namely, having to cancel all their flights and holidays up until June 23rd. There has been some clarification on the traffic light scheme that will be put in place when international leisure travel is eventually allowed to resume from the UK. But with PCR tests needed for countries even on the green list, it's going to make it an expensive do. Your average family will really struggle to come up with the extra costs that will be involved in a holiday abroad, unless the prices of the tests come down, which there has been some talk of too. We're still waiting to hear about the specific numbers with regards vaccine and virus rates that will determine which list the countries go on. It has been reported that until summertime, when we get a majority vaccinated, Spain may be on the amber list. Of course, this has not been confirmed yet, but the uncertainty will put off a lot of people booking. Also, the fact that a green country can change to an amber country overnight is another worrying factor. Similar changes caused chaos to tourists here last year. The 10-day home quarantine is simply not doable for most people. It makes for an impossible situation. So taking all that into account, we're still pretty much left in limbo at the moment. I am still hopeful and optimistic that we will see some British tourists back in Benidorm over summer. But when that will happen and on what scale is a mystery to us all. So if you have a summer holiday booked, keep the faith. Unless you're told otherwise, it's still going ahead and very much still a possibility, and we can't wait to see you back here. That's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little update and a little catch up on the major news from our region. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and leave us a comment. We do read them all, even if we don't get round to replying to them. And please click on that share button for us. It really is a massive help to us and so important to get the right info out there and combat all the fake news. Also, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok at the Benidorm Enthusiast. Stay positive and stay safe.